The first vocabulary word is priming. Priming is a cleaning and preparation process that involves cleaning scientific equipment with the same liquid chemical it will come into contact with during the experiment. In this experiment demonstration, we have already primed the burette by rinsing it 3 times completely with the sodium hydroxide. The second vocabulary word is titration. Titration is the slow addition of one solution of an unknown concentration, called a titrant, to a known volume of another solution of unknown concentration until the reaction reaches neutralization, which is often indicated by a color change. When measuring for the titration experiment, we have to round to the nearest hundredth place. The first step of the experiment is to determine what the initial volume is, as well as adding 3 drops of the phenolphthalein indicator. In this demonstration, we have already added the 3 drops of the indicator. Starting the experiment is Daniel James. When checking the volume in the burette, you have to make sure to observe them at eye level because you are measuring the meniscus. You then will release some of the volume. As you do this, you will swirl the Erlenmeyer flask to prevent adding too much of the solution, which is sodium hydroxide. Adding too much of the solution will result in a hot pink final solution and a failed experiment. The color of the solution in the flask should be a light pink. It needs to maintain this color for a minimum of 30 seconds. Once the color has changed, stop the flow of the sodium hydroxide and measure the final volume in the burette. Record this data. A good way to tell if the color has changed to the light pink is by comparing it to a separate flask containing water or by holding it up to a white sheet of paper. With Daniel's initial being at 0, he then observes and records the final data. Next to perform the experiment is George Farrington. Here he is adding the sodium hydroxide into his Erlenmeyer flask slowly, while swirling to prevent adding too much of the solution.